Hi everyone and welcome to the opening ceremony of the Valencia MUN. We are waiting for the chief guest who will be joining us shortly.
Hi, what's up, guys? Can you see me?
Yeah,
Am I audible?
yes sir.
Perfect. Shall we start? Sorry, apologies for being late because there was some issues with my Wi-Fi, so I couldn't connect. I was not able to connect.
No issues sir. We'll just play some videos and then we go on.
All right.
Hi.
Hey guys.
Hi everybody.
Hi guys.
Hey everyone.
Hi guys.
Hello everyone, my name is Shweta Chopra.
I'm Muskan.
My name is Maurice Ahmed Khan.
I'm Siddharth Shaw.
This is Pat Baker Vabo.
I am Kushagra Thakur.
My name is Preet Kamani. Please come and be a part
The
of
Valencia MUN 2020.
Valencia MUN. Valencia MUN.
Valencia MUN.
Valencia MUN.
Valencia MUN, which will take place on 1st and 2nd of August.
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 1st and 2nd August.
1st and the 2nd of August.
Come and be a part of the change. Come and be part of the change.
Come be a part of the change.
Come and be a part of this change.
Come and be a part of the change.
So come and be a part of the change.
If you look at what you have in life, you'll always move ahead. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll all never enough. Good morning, everyone, and all present here. I am Yashasvi Yadav, the Director General and the co-founder of Valencia MUN United Nations 2020. Now, I would like to welcome our Secretary General and co-founder, Mr. Agrim Mittal, to move forward.
Thanks a lot, Yashasvi. Well, Nelson Mandela once said that we can change the world and make it a better place. It is in your hands to make a difference. What began as a mere idea has now turned into a reality. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the opening ceremony of the maiden edition of the Valencia MUN. I started my journey in modern United Nations at a very early age, and I know the nerve crackling it is, and for all of you. I know that most of you aren't even listening to what I'm speaking right now, but for those who are listening, let me tell you a small secret. Nobody knows that what the heck we are doing here, but what I'd say is take a deep breath, calm your nerves, and give your best. I promise you, it's not that scary. Debate, learn, form opinions, research, make friends, but always keep in mind that the most important thing of all of them is to have fun. Do not, do not do this just because it's just another certificate or just another LOR for you. Do it for yourself. Do it because you want to see a new world. A world. You are our tomorrow, and you must bear the flame of this torch because each word matters and needs to be spoken out loud. And with this, I, Agrim Mittal, the Secretary General of the Valencia MUN United Nations, invite you all to ignite your minds to tackle the even unforeseen confrontation that challenges your every step. Now, I'd like to call Viraj to please introduce our guest of honor. Thank you.
Mr. Raj Shamani is a young and talented business professional and has experience working in almost every industry through his speaking engagement and personal interactions. Much of his previous experience comes from working with second generation business entrepreneurs who are working with their families within the business. Mr. Shamani strongly believes in offering the family business mindset even with larger corporations. Making sure that a business can offer this type of people-centric service while still utilizing modern ideas weighs heavy in his business experience. By sharing his inspiring story of the way that he helped his father grow his business by 10 times within just 6 months, he has been able to reach out to a number of arch partners worldwide with their own business operations. He has also been featured on platforms such as ABC, Fox, Medium, Your Story, etc., and contributes about his ongoing journey of everyday successes and failures on different platforms and his own Q&A show called Voices. Mr. Shamani also hosts his own podcast in which he regularly provides ongoing advice to brands and young and upcoming leaders. The title of this podcast is Figuring Out with Raj Shamani. Throughout his ongoing affiliations and speaking engagements, he has had the pleasure of working with companies such as Babson College and Forbes. As a celebrated speaker, Mr. Shamani is a 3 times TEDx speaker as well. He has been responsible for delivering up to 100 keynote addresses in 23 different countries at the age of 21. As a regular speaker and presenter, he was appointed as a UN representative. With his work at the UN, he represents one of the youngest Indian representatives to ever speak in Vienna. The majority of his speaking engagements focus on the idea of reaching international audiences, seizing opportunities to become the absolute best, and skyrocketing growth and sales. With the inspiring words that Mr. Shamani can share on various media outlets and within his speaking engagements, he has helped multiple entrepreneurs stand out in the digital landscape as it is crowded by websites and brands. It's a privilege to honor. It's a privilege to have our guest of honor, Mr. Raj Shamani, be a part of us. Now, I would like to request Agrim and the Director General to conduct a question and answer session with him.
Thank you so much, Viransh.
Okay, thank you, sir, for coming in. It's an honor to have you there.
Such
Okay, so
huge introduction about me. I'm so humbled right now. I'm feeling so grateful. Thank you, guys.
okay, so shall we start with the Q&A session?
Definitely.
Okay, So the first question from our side is that we'd be obliged if you would please share your journey of how you actually came into the UN and how it works.
Okay, so all of it started. So my plan was never to get into UN or never to do this kind of work. It all started with the urge to just prove my friends and their parents and my relatives I am worth it. It all started in 12th standard. Um, so till my 11th standard, I was always considered as one of those kids who will not be able to achieve anything in his life. Okay, like most of the young kids who can't score good in their school life, they are usually tagged as these lazy, useless people who who will end up getting nothing in their life. So I was one of them, and apart from that, what there were two more things which were absolutely not in my favor. Number one was that my cousins were really toppers. Like they were scoring 94, 95% in my school. Right. So it used they pressured me a lot. My relatives, my teachers, everybody was like, Raj, you need to score as well. You need to score as well. And then all of that didn't work in my favor. I was scoring around 50, 60%. And my cousins were 94, 95, 96. They used to cry if they were coming second or third in class. And I was like, what? So that was one drawback. And the other thing was most of the other guys who were not good at studies of my age, my friends, they were really good at sports. They were really good at other co-curricular activities. Maybe somebody was good at arts, somebody was good at football or cricket, usually any other game. And I used to suck at everything. So whenever anything was wrong, my teachers and my schoolmates and all of them, like they used to make fun of me because I was good for technically nothing. Just to gain attention in front of them and show them that, you know what, I am worth something. What I did, I started lying about myself a lot. And I started saying that, you know what, I went to Dubai for fancy vacations, I go to clubs, this and that. And in reality, I was not even able to go to Delhi. So I started faking a lot. Most of the kids do this, right? At our age 11, 12th, most of the kids do this stuff. And this is what I did. And one day, my classmates met my cousins. So, and then my classmates, I was like, oh, Raj went to Dubai. You guys didn't go? So my cousins were like, Dubai? Are you serious? Ask Raj, does he even have a passport? And that became the joke in my the entire school. And just to like every time I was enter the class, people would be like, "Dekh, Dubai ja raha hai, Dubai ja raha hai." Like this is how these guys used to be like. And then everybody started making fun of me. This joke went on so viral that my juniors also started calling out me from the name of, "Hey, Dubai, Dubai, Dubai." And then this spreaded wildfire like a wildfire. It was fun for everyone else, but it drained me from the inside. And I started questioning myself, the worth of being, what am I doing? How am I gonna fight this? Whether I'll be able to actually get out of this or no. Because I was questioning myself that I'm good for nothing. What am I gonna do? And there came a point that I was about to, quit everything. I was about to quit my school, my tuition, stop talking to my friends. And then something happened, the instant urge where some incident happened where I almost lost my father because of a diabetic attack. So my father told me that, you know what, Raj, even if I'm not able to make it today, I know that you're going to take care of your family. And those words changed my entire life. Like I still remember I was sitting in my room. I was thinking about whether to end my life or no. And I heard suddenly my mom shouting out my name. It's like, Raj, 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 Raj. I rushed to her room and then saw that my dad was shivering on the bed. And he wasn't able to do anything, just shivering. We rushed to the hospital. While still in the ambulance, my dad holds my hand and he's not being able to say anything, but just like, Raj, I trust you. Nothing else. We reached to the hospital. I'm sitting outside that operation theater. I heard that machine going beep, beep, beep. For 5 seconds, my entire world stopped. And in those 5 seconds, I took a decision that whatever happens now or whatever happens next, whether doctor comes out of this OT with a good news or a bad news, I am going to take care of my family and fulfill their dreams. And then I'm going to prove everyone who thinks that I'm useless, I'm going to prove them that I'm worth something. And that's how I started my first business. So right at that point, I made a decision to change my worth. Just like everybody else, just like everyone who's in 12th standard, who's 16, 17 years old, don't know what to do. I did the most millennial thing at that time. Knew that nobody's going to hire me for a job because I was not worth it. And I knew that I don't know how to do or what to do or what I'm going to do. So, but obvious it would me feel like, why not I start doing a business? And what business? I don't know. I just did Googling. Like all I did was like www.google.com, how to become rich, enter. And then Google taught me that you need to start doing a business, you need to do this, you need to do that. I read every article in Google and then started a dishwasher gel company where I started manufacturing FMCG products and started selling door to door, door to door, door to door. I started this with 10,000 rupees. I took those 10,000 rupees and started selling door to door, sold it to all my friends. And nevertheless, we didn't know that after 6 months, my sales went on to around 20 to 30 lakhs in just 6 months. And I was still a kid. I was 16 years old. Okay. It was ₹1,000,000. I was like, what just happened? I turned 10,000 rupees to ₹1,000,000 in just 6 months. And I didn't know what to do with all this money because I come from a very humble background where my father was making 40,000 a month in a family of 12. So all this money which I was getting, I thought, where should I use it? What should I do with it? So this money, I took it and I started buying notebooks and school bags and stationery supplies for the underprivileged kids who were not able to go to the school. I started buying them, started distributing them. Did that for 1.5 years. And 1.5 year, I get a call from somebody who's like, you know what, Raj? You're doing an amazing job. Why don't you apply to UN? And I'm like, what is UN? I don't even know what United Nations was at that time. So that guy was like, you should look it up. Go to www.unitednations.com. And I was like, what is that? And I went on there. I started reading. I was like, how do I apply? He was like, Raj, you know how to use Google? Use Google. Just type UN careers. I went on Google. I typed UN careers. There was a link where they were searching for representative of India for United Nations of Industrial Development Organization. I clicked that link. I applied. They rejected me. And I was like, why did they reject me? Then I applied again. Then they rejected me again. Then I applied again. Then they rejected me again. And it went on till 6 times. And on the 7th time, I got in. And voila, long story short, I was in United Nations. I was a representative for India. And I became the youngest UN representative in Vienna for UNIDO. So I went to Vienna. I was still 17 at that time. They paid for my everything. They paid for my entire trip. I was entering the UN arena with the badge of India, and that was the proudest feeling of my life. This is how it happened.
That was really inspiring, sir. Thank you so much. Can I come to the next question, sir?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. So, in your experienced opinion, how about the idea of carrying MUN? Does it relate to the actual working with the United Nations and provide as insight into them?
See, one of the most, I genuinely don't know how and the deep structure of MUN is working because I've never attended an MUN myself. I've always given speeches there. So I'm always there for like first 30 minutes and I'm not there. So I don't know the exact deep structure of how MUN is working. But what I have seen and what I've noticed is MUN is a lot about putting yourself out there in terms of debates, in terms of questioning other people, in terms of answering a lot of people. And that is the core of United Nations or of any world's leading platform, that you are representing a cause or a country or a thing which you really deeply believe in. And then as a representative there, you put out all the pros and cons and you try to put your step up front and try to convince everyone else in the room for that particular point, in the point which you believe in. And that's exactly what MUN is doing as far as I know. So that is that is really commendable. And I think what MUN is doing is not only trying to, model the entire United Nations working, but these guys are trying to prepare leaders for future. Because if you can speak in front of people and try to convince 5 people who are trying to mock you down, then dude, you have won half the battle in your world. Not even kidding. In the real business world, all you need to do is mock people down every goddamn minute. And if you guys are getting prepared at this age to do all of this, then you are setting yourself for a very good career or very good life. Let's just say that you guys are going to be the leaders of tomorrow just because of this one thing.
Thanks a lot, sir. Well, you talked a lot upon commitment and how you actually committed yourself to doing something, and that's how you got success. So my question is based on that. As in you got commitment from what happened to your father. I mean, you got committed, but I mean, keeping in mind today's generation, we have a lot of distractions. We have a lot of other things to do. What do you think should be a source of commitment for students like us in the current scenario?
See, the whole point is you don't need anything like my father's incident or any incident for in order to get make a commitment today in order to change your life. The whole point is it's about what do you want. Do you want to live the life which you are already living, or do you have bigger dreams to achieve? If you have bigger dreams, then you are not at the place where you want to reach. And if you haven't reached that place, then why are you not committing yourself to take necessarily actions which can take you to that place? You need to ask yourself this question. Because if you're not committing to take action and being consistent every day, it means you don't want the dream bad enough. It means you're dreaming wrong. That's the problem. I think the problem is not with the commitment. The problem is not with the consistency. The problem is with the dream. You don't have a dream which excites you every morning. That's the problem. So my thing is you need to be extremely audacious dreamer. Let's just say that. You need to dream so big, which excites the hell out of you. You'll be like, oh my God, I need this. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in terms of, let's just say, I want that leadership position, or maybe I want to be content, or I want to change the world. It can be as selfish as I want a goddamn Lamborghini. It can be that selfish. You want a Bugatti, you want a Lamborghini, you want a Ferrari for yourself. It's just about what excites you. If getting a Ferrari and if getting a Ferrari, driving that to the workplace every day, or driving that to the nearest club where you go to party every weekend, if that excites you, that should be your dream. And what do you need to do to achieve that dream? That is what you need to cut it down. And if you jot it down, all those things, you'll be consistent yourself. The game is you need to ask yourself, is my dream right? Is my dream exciting enough, which can kick me out of the bed every goddamn day? If yes, then you'll be consistent yourself. If not, then your dreams are bad. Let's just say that you're dreaming wrong. You need a better dream. So you don't need to make a commitment. You need a better dream. That's all.
That was really true. So I would say. So my next question to you is, so source prove that you are an excellent business person and have contributed to grow up family business 10 times more. In that context, what is the general vision that youngsters today should carry so as to give their family 100% whenever they go?
It all depends on three things. Number one, you need to be extremely empathetic with your father or anyone who's running the business. You need to be empathetic. You cannot go in the business and be like, you know what? I know the new technology. I am the young blood. I'm going to change the entire business. No, you can't, and you should not. You need to be empathetic towards your father or the leader who's leading the company. And you need to tell them that, hey, you know what? That I truly respect what you have built, and I want to learn how have you built all of this. So first and foremost is once you be empathetic, once you put yourself out there and tell the leader, tell your father or anyone who's leading the organization that, you know what, I am here to learn. And then at the same time, I am bringing the new vision and the new thinking and the new technology in the business, which should be respected as well. So if you'll respect their opinion and their way of working, they'll respect you as well. So that's number one, being empathetic. Number two, you need to become, or you need to get good at one department in your organization. Just one. Become so good that even your father is like, oh my God, what just happened? My kid in just 6 months became better than me. You need to get obsessed with that one department. Don't overlook, like, don't try to look at 10 different departments, 10 other things in the family business. Don't look at, I want to grow my business from 0 to 100 million or whatever in just 6 months, 7 months, 1 year, 5 year, whatever. Don't do that. Do is that you need to get better at one department. Maybe it's sales, maybe it's marketing, maybe it's finance, maybe it's operations, maybe it's R&D, maybe it's management, maybe it's HR, maybe it's accounts, whatever it is. Find out one thing, just one thing, and get so good so that you are adding an extra value to your business, so that you are adding one value which your father doesn't have, so that you're adding something which maybe your father has, maybe all the people who are working in that business has, maybe your mother has it, but you are better than them. And that's what matters. Because unless you're really good at something, you are replaceable. And if you are replaceable, you won't get respected, whether it's your family business or any goddamn business. If you want to get respected, you need to become extremely good at that one thing. So keep this in mind as well. And number three is about having a long-term vision and taking short-term actions. Most of the people lack patience. Like there's a famous quote, I'm pretty sure most of you heard it, that most of the people over-calculate or overestimate what they can do in 1 year, underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And that's extremely true. If you make 3 years goal or 5 year goals and start working towards that would be much more beneficial instead of you trying to get results in 1 month or 5 months. So impatientness is one thing which kills a lot of young people, which kills a lot of young leaders as well. Because you're so impatient that you want to do everything at once. We are in a generation of multitasking. We know that. We think that we are extremely good at multitasking because it's just way we are wired. And like I've talked to so many people, I've talked to so many young people, and they all are like, you know what, dude, I can do this, I can do that, I should do this, I should do that. And this is how I'm gonna change my business. I'm like, how are you going to multitask? He's like, I know. And if I ask them about the experience, what's their experience? The max experience of their multitasking would be texting 5 people at the same time on their phone. That's it. There's no other multitasking which they have done in their lives. So if you are judging your capabilities of multitasking by the ability that you can reply on Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube and watch a YouTube video at the same time, then dude, you're wrong. So you need to get good at one thing and you need to be patient. That's really good thing. I think these 3 things are going to be really, really important for any person who's looking forward to get into any business, whether it's family business or starting up his own company.
So one more thing I would like to ask in
Sure.
that matter. Really sorry, Agram, to interrupt in between. Yeah. So my question is basically it's just to my mind, and I'm just asking you, like someone when start the business, you start from the scratch, right, sir? So what is your opinion, like if someone's starting from the scratch and like thinking of making and like making it expand as much as possible? So much like you've been to in the businesses, like how much time did you take to spend your business basically?
I didn't get it. Like, I think you are asking me how much time does it take for a
Yes,
young
yes,
person to start a
if
business
we
and if
start,
business? Yeah.
if we start from a scratch, like we have a whole idea and we
It all,
start with
it all depends on a number of factors. Number one, how much money do you have and how are you going to spend it? That's the most important thing. Because if you have, let's just say $1 billion, the size and scale of your operations are going to be huge. And if you have 1 rupees in your pocket, the size and scale and operations are going to be really low. So that's number one. I cannot decide, or nobody in the world can decide on that. And number two is, how good of a community are you building? So do you have your 10 people or 100 people who absolutely love your product, who absolutely are mad about your product, who are gonna love everything what you're selling. Do you have 10 people like that? If you have those 10 people, the power of the community and how engaged are you in that community will decide how far you're gonna grow. Because most of the time, most of the young people forget this one thing, that they think I need 1,000 customers, I need 10,000 customers, I need 1 lakh customers. And they often forget to service the first 10 customers who bought the product at first time. So the first 10 people who actually believed in you, your goal should be just to completely satisfy these 10 people. Even if it's not related to your product or service, you should just get in their homes and, be like satisfied for everything, no matter what you're doing. No matter what you're doing, you just satisfy them for everything. Whether it's their personal needs, whether it's their financial needs, economic needs, I don't care. If you can help them, you should help them. Because if you build 10 people, then those 10 people are going to get you 1,000 more people. And trust me on this, you don't need to go for 10,000 people. So these are like 2 major factors which I think pretty much decides how fast you're going to go from zero to hero. Like number 1 is how much money do you have and how are you going to spend it, and number 2 is like how well and good your community is, how much your products are getting loved by the first 10 people who you serve to. So just if you're starting out, or anyone who's watching is starting out, guys, start building your 10 people who are ready to buy anything and everything from you. If you build those 10 people, trust me on this, growth is just a number. Like 2-digit, 3-digit expansion rate is just a number.
Basically, working on quality instead of quantity, right?
Yep. And it's always about quality over quantity. It's always about that.
Okay, sir. I mean, we have talked a lot upon personality and personality development. And I hope this will definitely help each and everyone seeing you. Let's talk about the global perspective and the question which everyone has in mind. Let's talk about the COVID-19. We all know that the COVID-19 pandemic has highly, torn away the whole economy of each and every country, I'll say. So, what are your views, being one of the top 10 youngest entrepreneurs according to Asian Age of India? What are your views on basically the COVID-19 hitting the economies? Secondly, what are your views on the post-pandemic recovery?
So number 1, the pandemics and epidemics and all of this is a part of the human nature. It's a part of human civilization. So there's nothing new. It has been there before. It's gonna be there in future as well. So there's nothing new. It's just you and me are facing it today in the digital space. That's why the conversation is out loud there too much. That's the difference. But we all have seen there was Spanish flu, there was plague, there was a lot of epidemics and pandemics which caused brutality to the world. And number 2, we all have seen great recessions. We all have seen recessions and we all know that's a part of economy as well. So there's nothing new with it. There's nothing new. It's just that we weren't prepared. Our generation haven't seen something like this. That's why we all are in a shock, like what's going to happen. I truly believe the economy is going to come out stronger and more powerful after this, because most of the people who were living in this fake economy and trying to fake it until they make it, they're going to die. And that's the best part. Only the real ones, only the real people who have been and who are struggling and hustling in a really good way, in a most authentic and organic way, are going to survive this pandemic. And these guys are going to be the future leaders who will survive. For me, post-pandemic, I see this as a very, very strong, let's just say, I see economy getting very, very strong after this, just because of 2 factors. Number 1 is most of the, everybody who will survive through this is going to become a very good leader, because they survive the worst. They are definitely going to ace and stay at the top of their game when everything gets back to normal. And number 2 is most of the people are getting really creative at this time, whether it's influencers, entrepreneurs, business people, or let's just say education artists or educators or whoever. most of the people are getting very creative. So when the creativity flows, best startups come out, best practices come out, best people come out. So I think this 1 year window which we have gotten is the best time for the creative people to actually introspect themselves and start building on something which can be really useful post pandemic. This is your time, and this is like the time where every excuse which you had for because of which you were procrastinating is getting killed. Just think about it. Every excuse which you had, that I don't have time, I'm going to start working out from tomorrow, I'll start building myself from after, like, next semester. Or with you guys, if you guys are in school, then it can be like, let's just say, I'll start doing it
Next
from
step.
this weekend, next Monday, next class, or next summer break, whatever it is. Every time which we were trying to procrastinate, this is this is like an excuse buster. So COVID is an excuse buster. This has given you the maximum time. This has given you all the time which you would required in your life. And if you aren't doing anything, then it means you suck. And whoever is doing good things in this is going to come out very strong in the world economy, and the economy is going to flourish, because everyone who's just showing that, oh, you know what, I'm a hustler, is going to fall flat on their faces, and everyone who's a team leader will come out strong, and the people will support the stronger people out there. And that's what I believe in. Like, I truly believe that one of the best startups of the world are getting built. The next economy revolution is getting built. EdTech startups are getting built. Artificial intelligence is getting built. IoT is getting built. Robotics is getting built. It's all of it is coming. The best startups today, which we hear the name, let's just say WhatsApp, Uber, Airbnb, Slack, all of this happened in 2007, 2008, when there was a great recession, when everybody lost their homes, their jobs, their houses. They were at their homes, and all these startups were born at that time. So I'm pretty sure that one or the other startup is getting born, is taking birth at this situation. So we are going to see much stronger economic revolution, and much stronger economy post recession. And it is just future. It's just past. Think about it. Every time there was a recession, the economy came out stronger because the new revolution started coming. This is the part of life. So this time they're calling it one of the worst recessions of the world. It means one of the best economies is going to come up, and that's what I'm hopeful for.
That was really true, sir. And coming to my next question for the same. Why has India become a hub of unemployment while China, which is similar, the population basically hasn't?
I can't hear that question. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. How has why has India become a hub of unemployment while China, which is similar in population, hasn't?
Why India has become the hub for unemployment and China hasn't, right? When it comes to population.
Keeping in mind the population.
Yeah.
The same population.
So it all starts with you need to study the model of China first. Then you need to talk about our country. That's the worst comparison which I see when people make like, oh, China is populated, India is populated, but China is doing extremely good, India is not. China did something years ago which our country did. Okay, so China started a few things. China had a big plan to become the manufacturing hub for the world. That was their vision. So they wanted to become the manufacturing hub, and it all started in 1990s. So at that time, what China did was like the entire government took everything under their control. So China is half autocratic, half democratic. Mostly it's autocratic. Let's just say that. So they decided that, like, few people in power, they decided that we are going to provide every goddamn subsidy, every goddamn thing, which is going to become the manufacturing hub of the world. So the most important in their education system, what they were focusing on was the skill to build a skilled labor. That's it. They started education for all and started building skilled labor. This was their huge plan. So they started running. This was the economic strategy which China used. They did this for 30, 40 years continuously in order to build skilled labor. Once they have skilled labors, the next step for them was anyone and everyone who's coming up with a business idea should have a one business window policy. One business window means you get to one place and you get all your business licenses to start your goddamn business at one place. Whereas in India, if you start a business, like you need to go to pollution control board, you need to go to land control board, you need to go to GST separately, you need to go to 10 different places and get 10 different licenses. And that's why the ease of work is bad here. So China stopped this. China stopped that as well. These were the two things. And number three, China started economically supporting people city-wise. They started building economic cluster. So what they did is they focused, they didn't roll out the entire country like, you know what, we are opening up 500 economic clusters in our country. They didn't do that, which like currently India is doing. Every state has their own economic cluster. Every state has their own thing. China started one by one. For several months, for several years, one state was the main place to get all the business. And they were giving every economic heal or every economic subsidy or every economic solution to the people who were investing in that particular area. They started with one state, then second state, then third state, then fourth state. And these were the steps which they took over last 30 to 40 years, which made them possible to become the world's manufacturing hub. Because if you have the maximum skilled labor, if you have the maximum businesses which can get their businesses done within just one day from one business window, then it means more businesses are going to come and more businesses are going to get the more skilled labors and more skilled labors with the cheap labor. And once you have the cheap labor, once you have the cheap businesses, you are able to produce goods at cheap. So this is what helped China over time. India doesn't have something like that. India haven't built anything of that sort. India's economy, political instability has affected all these policies. And unless we fix that, we are not going to become something like China.
Okay, so this is totally agreed, but this is a bit out of context though. So what do you think about the China social credit structure policy, which they were planning to implement in 2020, but of course due to the pandemic, they're not able to implement that policy. Do you think that that policy will actually help people, or it will actually deprive people of a lot of benefits they're getting right now? And do you really think that it will help the Chinese economy as a whole?
To be very honest, I have no clue about this particular policy because I haven't read it. Like, I don't know. So I don't want to talk about something or give my opinion on something which I genuinely don't know. I can brag and talk about 10 different things that might be wrong. So it's better I don't speak about it. Like, that's my opinion. So I have just read about how Chinese government helped the entire Chinese country become the manufacturing hub for the entire world, and what they're doing with economic colonization, which they're trying to do with apart from the world. These are the two things which I read about China. Apart from that, I've read a lot about Indian ecosystem and how India is helping out businesses there. So I can talk about that much if you want me to talk, but I can't talk about any policy which China is trying to implement at this point.
Of course, definitely, sir. Okay, sir. So it's almost time. So let's move to the last question for the day.
Sure.
So, sir, lastly, what are your golden words with which you want to adorn the online gathering and guide the young delegates so that they could do better and bigger in future?
See, one major advice or the golden words which I want to give to everyone is like our generation, which most of the people are like, I'm talking about the people of your age. There is one major problem, that is we all have been born and brought up in an information era. So we have this itch to find out the answers for everything. Why is China doing like this? Why am I doing like this? What is India? What is the answer for this? What is the best advice a business person could get? What are the ways to grow my business from zero to this? What are the ways? How can I do this? How can I do that? Like, we all are trying to find answers and we all are trying to look for advices. We all are trying to seek so many questions which are not even important. And that is one of the biggest problems which we have. Just because the information is available out there doesn't mean that you need to know each and everything. So the best advice is stop looking out for advice and start doing the work. Most of the time, what happens just because we seek out so much information and so much advices that we often forget to take action. Just like the biggest golden advice or the golden word I want to say for everyone is like stop looking out for advices, stop looking out for information, start doing something about it. If you think that India is doing something wrong and India lack India is behind China in some factors, what are you doing about it? The question is up to you. What are you doing about it? What is China trying to do, or what is India trying to do? What is the world trying to do? What are they trying to implement? What are they not trying to implement? Doesn't matter. What are you trying to do about it? Do you feel something is wrong? Then you need to change it. And if you're not doing it, that means you're contributing towards something which is going wrong as well. So it all boils down to this one thing, that stop seeking for advice and start doing things. If you see something wrong out there, start making the change. Start asking yourself this question: how can I become the change, and what can I do in today's world? Maybe I can start speaking about it. Maybe I can start doing something. Maybe I can start writing letters to the policymakers, or I don't know what, but I need to start doing. Because until I start doing, until each and every one of us start doing, we cannot become the world leader. We cannot become the absolute leader in our community, or we cannot take our country to become the world power. You and I, each and every one of us, need to start taking the action and stop looking for advices.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir. It was indeed an honor having you here. Your words truly inspired us, and I hope that they'll definitely help us in future and help the delegates make a change in their lives, which definitely was required for a lot of us. Thanks a lot again for coming and sparing your valuable time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for having me here. Pleasure.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so with all the powers bestowed within me as the Secretary General of the Valencia MUN, I now declare the first edition of the Valencia MUN open.